university, because people can attend, is it the church, in nudity, being nude, naked. Just imagine what it means. It's not really issue. Yeah? Hamuna mabhurukwa zvese. Munonamata Mwari wavo. Just, if you just take pictures, men and women like that. You are not hiding anything. You are showing everything.
And you are supposed to be praying.
You are supposed to be praying.
But Your Excellency, a question that has been asked, and correctly so, Nyaya Dzogorashudzi says, where were the line ministries when all this was happening?
Where were they? Well, that's the issue. The line ministry or the line minister was a yes minister. Standoffish. Mr. Basa. Don't mind. The permanent secretary stands in between the minister and the rest of the department, the government, the minister, and the boards. You go to have a permanent secretary, then chairman of the board who comes to report, and so on, and you rely on that. The board sits, deliberate, you get some report. The board itself does not carry out examinations and inspections of what is being done by the parastatal if it's a parastatal. And the minister is far removed when it comes to parastatals. And that's where most of the corruption occurred. And you can see that these are institutions which were far removed from control, direct control by government. Creations of the British which we inherited. You see, the Conservative Party became a coalition government under Churchill. They ran the war, managed the war with the dynamism of Churchill, frightened the Nazis. They couldn't cross the British Channel because Churchill made that speech of blood and tears, that everyone is willing to I will die, so on. They dare not cross, and Hitler feared to cross the British Channel. But they helped France, the British forces, the Allied forces, the Americans who had refrained from joining the war, decided upon attack by the Japanese a coup. What place was attacked, by the way? That when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. When Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, then they said, the enemy has attacked. So there it was. The Germans wanted to rule the whole of Europe. They had their own alliance. The Matariana, the Italians were promised Tonga Africa, the whole of Africa. And Hirohito was to rule the whole of Asia, including China. Vakakuyirwa yapera hondo. Mabrisho said, yes, we died. The people died. Could die. The people-oriented government. Churchill is not the right person for. He's warlike. So they voted Labour into power, and Labour said, well, we are not communists, but we are socialists. They started nationalizing. Let's create a mapoza or So created the boards. Nationalized coal, nationalized steel, nationalized energy, hospitals and so on. And the system of nationalization meant control of the state was not going to be direct. Control of the state would be through a board called the parastatal. You're creating a parastatal. The board will be set up. It will have a chairperson. And it is that board which will manage the parastatal, which will run now as a company runs the entity, whether it was coal, steel, whatever. And you can see it's not like the minister and permanent secretary, deputy permanent secretary, but directors and assistants are running a government. The government side would be reported to by the chairperson. From time to time, yes, there would be a visit to the parastatals, but things would be left. They would have the necessary autonomy to run their own establishments. Along the way, therefore, it emerged one, that is parastatals, were entities that did not have the same enthusiasm, the same working, spirit as a company, private company. And there was no profit motive, such as you get in a company where the manager is being driven by the owners of the business. We must make a profit. we have invested money. That did not exist. So this is what we inherited here. And so this is a looseness. Yeah, what's happening, you leave it. And here we had quite a number of them, of these parastatals. Not much supervision. And they looked at the companies as their own now. CEOs. Not making any profit. If there are losses, they'll rely on government to come with subventions. And reports, yes, there would be a report from parastatal. The system we had inherited from Britain, annual report. But loss after loss, loss after loss, loss after loss. Why? If there is profit minimal, what's happening? Because there was no close supervision. Persons full of weak morals, took advantage of the system and wanted to benefit themselves and enrich themselves. What does Cuthbert Dube tell us? I understand this is he was getting a percentage of the portfolio. Of the, a given portfolio. You see? But who had fixed that for him? You see? So that was what he fixed that for himself, and he thought it was right. So the more the contributions from people there were, then the greater his salary grew. And part came from the wages of the people and part from government. So he got a percentage of that. And as more and more workers, was the salaries, you see, increased. So did his own. Zvino handina kuba ndakatora what I was entitled to. But don't you see what you were entitled to was outrageously out of proportion with what the rest of the people in the public service, from permanent secretary and so on, were getting, even during hard times, and the rest of the ministers, even the president, were getting. Ishanyika zisibi, asirangu zvakanyorwa kuti ndinowana ichipesendi yakati of the whole. Ndo zvandakati handina kunoba mari yomunhu. Zvino mutonga muchiti chii? We allowed the system to operate as it was. if they were crooks who manipulated the system in order to give themselves that enormously large salary and out of proportion to the rest, then you can charge them for manipulating the system as having done something illegal, and that's where you can catch them. And then perhaps charge them, and I don't know if you say you should refund, but I know anobvira paipi ndokana asina kuchikamati zacho. Zvinozoenda kuZBC ozonoshanda naCCO empauwiri wavo. Between the two of them, they were then the ones responsible for fixing salaries for themselves. Again, there without real legal authority. So you're asking, where was government? We were there with full eyes, open eyes. We're getting cataract only now, but it's not that we didn't see. But the system itself, system and supervision. So, and that's why we're saying, no, British system, good though it may be, I think some of the